I'm Maury Phillips on this edition of the RiverHawk Spotlight presented by Boutique and the Beast, elite online boutique and haberdashery with Northeastern State star tight end Cam Woods. Cam, I appreciate you being here on the Spotlight with me today. We're going to start walking here on this Walk and Talk edition down the field here at Doc Wadley Stadium. But first, before we start walking, as I ask everybody, what led you to NSU?
Honestly, coming out of JUCO, out of California, it was a few options I had, but honestly, meeting Coach Chev and just hearing his story and his background, I was inspired by it, I guess you could say. And so I believed in the vision that he had for the team, and I'm here, bought in fully.
Absolutely. So we'll start walking now downfield. I want to say that we're right at the spot where you scored a touchdown last week, taking on Lincoln, Missouri, and we're going to finish at a spot where you scored another one. You've had 4 touchdowns in this very building on this field this season. What's allowed you to be so successful once you step foot in Tahlequah?
Man, honestly, I don't know, none too specific really. I mean, during practice, we always have a great, intense, very functional practice, and so I just come into the mindset of game day, let's have fun and ball out. And I try not to put too much emphasis on the team that we're facing and what's been going on that week. And so I just kind of try to hone in on my job and my responsibilities and just execute for real.
So, Dortch, you know, it's been no secret that beginning of the season he was dealing with some shoulder issues. He's been kind of battling through that. This last week he looked really good, completed 10 out of 10, perfect passing, was the first quarterback in almost 10 years here at NSU to throw 4 touchdowns in a single game, and you were a big part of that. You're his leading receiver with 115 yards through the air, and you caught a couple of his big deep bombs in that matchup against Lincoln. How did Dortch look in your mind? How's he been building back, and how have you developed chemistry with him over the course of these last few weeks?
Man, Dortch, he looking dynamic, explosive. He coming out making plays. I like his resilience and his ability to bounce back. You know, we haven't had the best start of our season, but we're here at the midway point and we're kind of getting a lot more locked in and getting used to each other. And so the chemistry is definitely getting built, and it really happens throughout the week at practice, just practicing how we want to play. And so we've been able to do that, and the results show for themselves.
So one thing I think that's definitely worth a mention is the fact that, you know, practices over the last few weeks have really upped in intensity. I know that Coach Chev has really been on you guys, because I know you look at how the season started, had a couple games that we were the better team for 90% of it, but some stuff happens at the end and it slips away. This is a team that's determined. They want to obviously show they're for real. Last week you were able to, and I know this week, President's Cup, big time matchup. It's a rivalry game, it's a trophy game. Describe the mentality this team's got now with sense of urgency as high as ever.
Honestly, like I said prior, how my mentality going into game week, I really try not to put too much emphasis on our opponents, on whoever it may be, and we really just want to focus on what we're doing and what our job is. And so we've been able to do that. We've been able to get that mindset kind of shared amongst the team against each player. And so we come out to practice and we know we got to play fast, intentional, and just do what we came out here to do.
I want to talk about this coaching staff because I know you're one of the many new guys that's been brought in, and you've mentioned you bought in fully to Chev. But offensively, defensively, this is a stacked group of coaches because everybody here, you know, they've played at a high level, vast majority of them at Division I or Division II. Some of them have coached at a high level. You know, Junior's had a very storied career as a defensive coordinator. Chev spent time at Tech. He spent time at Colorado. You know, just in general, it's a stacked group. What's it been like playing for some of them, and even with the position coaches? So what's it been like being under the learning tree with those guys?
I love it, honestly. Each one of our coaches got a drive. They have a passion for it that you could see, and it shows in their coaching and just their day-to-day basis, and just the level of expectation they have for each one of our players. It's a standard that they hold to everybody, and so us as players, we just try to meet that standard and try to just raise the bar every week just so that, you know, we can perform at our best. And, you know, we don't never want to stay stationary, and that's the same with our coaches. They just continue to push for us to get better and get better each day, each opportunity throughout the days, just continue to get better and build on top of what we've started at the beginning of the week and the previous weeks.
One more thing before we move on to the rapid fire round. What's your impression been of the community here? Tahlequah, they love their RiverHawks. They're excited that for the first time in years we're competing week in, week out, playing good football. And the stands here have been pretty nice to know. Packed house week 0, I should say, against Missouri Western. Give me your impression of the fans, whether it's the student body or the local community as a whole.
I love it, man. I love it. I love the support. I love the constant support, really, throughout the entire season and up until this point. I mean, as you said, our stands, they get filled, and then our student section, they always come with the energy and that grit, I guess you could say, of just continuing to keep our energies up on the sideline, and then just knowing that we have that support behind us is big for us, because it gives us another purpose on why we should go even harder.
And definitely need them this week in a big game against a ranked opponent, UCO rivalry, President's Cup. Huge deal, obviously, but I know you guys dialed in. The outside noise is blocked out, and you guys are just wanting to go out there, play a good football game, because you play well, practice well, you're going to be in the hunt. Last thing here is our rapid fire round. I don't have the handy sticky notes with me like I did with some of the other guys, but a good thing with broadcasts, you got to have a good memory. So, rapid fire round, quick questions, quick answers. Are you ready?
Always.
Alrighty, so we'll start right in with favorite athlete.
Favorite athlete. For football, I think I'm going to say Travis Kelce.
Nice.
Basketball, I think I'm going to take the king, LeBron.
I think it's interesting you picked a tight end for favorite athlete. Do you see that you've modeled your game any after Travis?
So when my tight end journey started, I kind of was new to it, and I didn't know really how to navigate myself through just being in that position. And so Travis Kelce, he was one of the tight ends that stood out a lot to me, and I just like his game. I like his personality, just the person he is, and I guess you could say that I do shape a lot of my game after what he does.
Definitely. And Travis Kelce's probably on my Mount Rushmore of athletes I'd want to party with, too. So.
No, for sure. Absolutely. That. Definitely.
Favorite pregame meal?
Favorite pregame meal? To be honest, I'm kind of simple with it. I like a good peanut butter and jelly,
there you go.
White bread.
That was what I was always told when I played in high school was, don't overthink it, peanut butter and jelly, you're good to go.
Yeah, just going to get the job done.
Absolutely. Favorite pregame pump-up song? We're going to stick with the pregame theme here.
My boy, I don't know who made the decision, but my boy Randy right there behind the camera, he come in clutch with that They Not Like Us by Kendrick. That song gonna always get me right.
Biggest song in the country, has been for 3-4 months now.
Man.
So it definitely goes hard. Now we'll go to specific players on the team. Who's the fastest? Can't say yourself, who's the fastest guy on this team right now?
Fastest guy on this team. We got a lot of speed guys. We got a lot of guys that are quick, but one person, we actually were talking about it today at practice with Sean, actually. That's funny. Ramon I forgot how.
Ramon
McKinney. Yeah, that's a very explosive cat. He always, as soon as he get the ball, he see a hole, he gonna hit it.
Yeah.
Every time.
I watched his Waxahachie film when we signed him, and he's a blink and you'll miss a type of player.
Yeah.
And I fortunate thing was last week against Lincoln, I think there were some players who did blink and miss him a little bit.
Yeah, I compare him to Tyreek Hill in the backfield.
Yeah, he is next level. All right, so now we'll go to talking about the defense. Who is your toughest matchup in practice each day?
Toughest matchup each day. I think I'm gonna have to go with my boy Penny, linebacker.
Penny Masiva.
Yeah, he come off the edge a lot, quick, aggressive. It's always good competition with him for sure.
100%. It was fun watching him last week. He made some plays then too.
Mm-hmm.
Last question for you. One word to describe your game.
Explosive and I guess you could say surprising, because I was told from a couple teammates on Saturday they didn't know that I was that fast, or it was a little bit of a surprise, I guess, to see me moving that quick. So explosive and surprising, I guess I'll say.
Well, I appreciate the time, Cam. We're the opposite end zone where you're able to also reach pay dirt for your first touchdown as a RiverHawk in that corner over there.
Yes, sir.
And one of your most recent ones as well right here this last weekend against Lincoln. Hope we see you here again this Saturday against Central Oklahoma. But best of luck this weekend, and definitely appreciate your hard work throughout the campaign.
Of course, I appreciate y'all for having me.